Hi folks, this is a little A-level mindset booster session, which I just want to whiz through some, which I often find really helpful for some students. When I give it to them, they're just like, oh, why didn't you give it to this before? So I just want to kind of push this out via the tutors so that you got this there for you, okay? It's something which is in the A-level mindset book, but particularly at the moment, if you're struggling with organization or prioritization of that, this can be a godsend, okay? Okay, so first of all, think, how are you coping? And by the way, it's okay to say that things ain't going too great. Okay, um, what strategies are you using to cope? Are you doing, are you doing work as you get it? Are you doing it based upon the urgency? Are you doing it based upon the time that you have, or how much time it's going to take? Are you doing it based upon the least worst? I.e., I prefer to do my drama work than my history work because I'm more passionate about that at the moment. Or are you preferring to do your history work more than your science work because you're really into what the tutors, etc., were doing? Unfortunately, quite a lot of those can kind of lead you to problems. Instead, I'm going to suggest that you start using a system which is referred to as the energy line. Okay, I've used this with students, I've used it with teachers, I've used it with people doing all sorts of other jobs on that, doing a little bit of coaching outside of school, and they found it super useful. Okay, it's a really effective way of managing your life as you get busier. Okay, and I will also point out there is also an app which you can do this on too, but loads of people it works best by just having it on an A3 sheet of paper and sticking up on the wall with some post-it notes. So this is it. Okay, so the system, the energy line, is all about making the best use of your energy. Now, what you need to do is you need to put on some post-it notes everything that you need to do over the next couple of weeks. Yeah, okay. And what you do is you also, if you've got like a task which is going to take you 10 hours worth, okay, because you do need to also indicate roughly on each post note how long you think it's going to take. If you've got like one which is going to take a really long time, then you need to break it down and you need to say like hour 1, hour 2, hour 3, hour 4, hour 5, etc., etc. Okay, so what you then do when you've got all your tasks written down is you then look at this sheet. Okay, we have our extreme, and you're able to put a maximum of 2 post-it notes in the extreme column. Okay, you're not allowed to put more. Next, you have the high. You put 4 things down in there. Then you have medium, which you can put up to 8 things in. Then low, which is 4. Then idle, which are 2. Those tend to be things that it'd be nice to do, but they're not necessarily needed doing. You may still have some things left over on that pile, but you know what? Until you clear some stuff off here, you ain't gonna get to them. So the point is here that this helps in 2 ways. One, you're no longer carrying all that stuff around in your head, going, oh, what do I do next? What do I do now? I've got so much on my brain, and you're kind of melting your brain with overload there. Instead, you have it on a sheet, which kind of takes the pressure off your brain a little bit. Okay, yeah, you then have it in front of you. But what you then do is you say, right, okay, over the next day or so, I'm going to work on my 2 things that I have put in extreme. Okay, so particularly if you're doing it with the piece of paper and the post-it note strategy, what I then say is have a box. Yeah, have a clear plastic box which you put any completed tasks into. Really helpful. And what you do is you work through and you do the extreme ones. And so once you've done those, you can then look at it and say, right, okay, is there any in my pile lower down that I need to kind of then move up there? Is there any others I need to put on? You can then look at it and you can work through. And it's all about prioritizing your tasks and working through. And by doing that, you have a chance to take it out of your brain, to put it out there and for you to kind of genuinely consider what your priorities really are. I have had a conversation with one student who she was stressing with all the stuff she had to do, and then she also put on the fact that she was marshalling a race for an entire day at the weekend. It's just like, lovely, you don't have the time for doing that. That is a low priority thing. Yeah, she was running up to her exams, she was overloaded with stuff, and actually she was just overcommitting to too many different things. And she needed to recognize that that was not something she could actually do. It needed to be dropped. She needed to back out and say, sorry, I can't do that. I have too much other stuff going on. And sometimes priorities mean that you have to put some things to the side and say, you know what? I would like to that, but I'm not going to get a chance to. That's as it is. Okay, so this gives you the chance to look at your priorities and consider that. Okay, I will also point out, however, that if you are more of a app person, you like using apps, there is a digital version which you can use. It's a free app. It's called Trello, and basically it does the same thing as this, but it's on your phone. I've known a lot of people who liked the app and a lot of people who like the paper version there, that suits them more. But this is, as I say, it's a way of, particularly if you're struggling to cope with the level of work you've got and going forward there, making sure that it's a really good system for coping. You know, you can use it now, you could use it later on in your studies, you can use it later on in life. Okay, it is something which I have seen people from quite a variety of levels use and find makes their life more manageable and in fact less stressful. Okay, so this is, as I say, it's coming out of the A-level mindset, which is a great resource for you, but the key thing is it's about helping you to organize, prioritize, and therefore ultimately cope better with your studies. Okay, hopefully you found this useful. Any questions, please ping to your tutors and they'll happily go through this with you. Okay, thank you folks.